Hey there, and welcome back to my Weston Winterlicious series. Nearly 2 years ago, Old Nassau on Weston Road near King became a hubbub of activity. You may remember why. Keith Lee, famous for his food reviews on TikTok, chose Toronto as his first destination outside the U.S. Old Nassau came to the attention of his 16 million followers after he dropped by and gave it a glowing review. Although the crowds have died down since then, I was still fourth in line when I checked it out for lunch on New Year's Eve. A good sign. Also a good sign, I was the only non-West Indian person in the place. It's always tricky to know what to order when a restaurant features food from a country you've never been to. Old Nassau advertises chicken in the bag for $10 on their window, but I can cook chicken decently myself, so I wasn't going to have that. No, if I'm ordering food from an island nation, it seems better to order fish, just like those ahead of me in the line. I chose the fried snapper dinner. It comes with rice and peas and 2 sides selected from a long list. Unfortunately, they were out of plantain, which, if I'm honest, is not my favorite, but I'm always hopeful it's just because I haven't had it cooked right. I'll try it the next time. Instead, I chose coleslaw as my first side because, well, fried fish calls out for it. For my second, I picked steamed vegetables. The server warmed up immediately when he learned I lived in Weston and that it was my first visit. That's what I love about Weston, a true community. Old Nassau warns you on the door that the food isn't going to appear instantly. So after ordering, I sat down with my book. I didn't get much into the reading, though, favoring instead eavesdropping on the discussion other patrons were having with the counter staff about dessert options. Coconut duff, I heard. The other customers didn't know it by that name in their country of Antigua. Maybe it's the same as coconut tart, they suggested. No, it's different. I was, of course, frantically searching coconut duff on my phone. If I had a sweet tooth at all, I might have ordered one to go. A sweet, coconut-filled dough, typically boiled or steamed, and served with a buttery rum sauce and a variation of guava duff, the national dessert of the Bahamas. Despite the warning about the wait, it wasn't long before the server called out to me. "For here to go." "Here," I answered. Soon he appeared with my meal. I opened the clamshell to find a whole snapper resting its head on a bed of rice and peas, and its back draped over cooked cabbage with bits of carrot and red pepper peeking out, and its crispy fried tail hanging off the edge of the container. In the other compartment was a smaller container filled with creamy coleslaw and an even smaller container of something else that seemed superfluous, another liquid. Lying atop the fish was a healthy wedge of lime, with it a plastic-wrapped fork and a few napkins. After a quick pick, I got to work preparing to tuck in. First, I generously limed up the fish. Then I removed the lid of the coleslaw. While figuring out how to tackle the fish without a knife, I tried the salad. Why is restaurant coleslaw always superior to mine? This one didn't disappoint. Then I had a few grains of rice, also nice. And then I dove in, pulling back the tail of the fish with my hand in the hopes it would take most of the bones with it. Success. I sampled the tender flesh. Delish. Really. It's so important not to overcook fish, and this was perfect. And then I tried the steamed vegetable. Okay, I wish I'd picked another of the side options. With coleslaw already, more cabbage seemed a bit excessive. And I often cook cabbage, so not really much of a treat. But more to the point, it was somehow sweetened. I ate it, obviously. I don't let food go to waste. But it wasn't my favorite. But let's get back to the fish. Really, really good. I got in there with my hands, pulling bones out of my mouth with my fingers and tearing pieces off the head, sucking the flesh off and tossing those skull bones aside too. At the end, I left only the eyeballs. I know I should have eaten them. Many say they're the best part. But when vegetarians say they can't eat anything with a face, I suspect it's this issue they're concerned about. The animal, or in this case, the fish, looking up at them. Somehow taking that eyeball makes me a bit squeamish. I'll try to do better the next time. And there will be a next time. I lapped everything up except about 2/3 of the very generous rice helping, and that I brought home for stir-fried rice for breakfast on New Year's Day. If I have a complaint about old Nassau, it's this. If I'm dining in, I prefer to eat off a proper plate using proper cutlery. I know in a business that clearly thrives on takeout, having the equipment necessary to provide those dining in with a more refined and environmentally friendly experience is expensive and inconvenient. But I hope they think about it. A note on this series. So Winterlicious debuted in 2003 to promote Toronto's restaurant industry during the slower winter months. Since then, the event has grown significantly, reportedly serving 450,000 meals annually. Last year, more than 230 places offered 3-course fixed-price menus at reduced rates. 6 of these were within an easy walk of my office on the Danforth. 0 were available in Weston. So last year I started my own Weston Winterlicious series. My criteria: walking distance from my house, food cooked on site, table service, and open for lunch. I hope you enjoyed it, and check back next week for the next one. Thanks for watching.